What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this video if you feel like you love it and you want other people to see it. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I think I said that already, but I'm gonna say it again because a lot of y'all that are watching is not subscribed. I can see it. YouTube tells me subscribe to the channel. What are y'all doing? This is great information. Y'all feel it is informative and it helps y'all, so make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Today we have a great video. We have my little buddy Shadow. I love him so much, you guys. When I say this dog is so sweet, oh my god, he is the absolute best. Ever since his first time coming, he was perfect for grooming. He has never given any issues. Y'all going to see that in the video. He is truly an awesome dog. He is great. I know he's a little wiggly right now, but he really is great. He does not give any issues. He doesn't bite. He doesn't thrash around. And he is just all around a great dog. And today we're going to be doing the cutest haircut on him. We're going to be doing his body a little bit shorter with some tapered legs, and then a round little donut mustache with some even ears, and his face round and cute. Oh, he looks absolutely adorable when he is done. Oh, I can't wait for y'all to see it. But let's get straight into this video. So we're going to be starting off this video like we usually do with his prep work. So we're going to be doing his paw pads, his sanitary, and his nails. But I'm also going to be dematting him because he had some mats in his legs. Nothing too crazy, but I like to demat them before the bath if it is something minor, because when you demat them after the bath, the hair can be fluffy, it can be staticky, it can look frizzy, and it cannot look as clean as it would had I just dematted him prior to the bath. So once you demat before the bath, the conditioner hits the coat and then it makes the coat nice and silky, whereas if you are dematting him after the bath, you are dematting him after the conditioner hits it. So you are just basically fluffing up and roughing up his coat all over again, and it kind of makes it hard to tame once you do that after the bath. And to be honest, at first I thought I was just going to demat his legs, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to brush out his whole body. I mean, Shadow is all of 3 pounds. He is not a big dog, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to brush out his whole body and get him fluffed out, so that way when I go to condition him, that'll kind of really get into the coat and penetrate through the dirt and down to the skin and get him as clean as I wanted him to be, and as well as moisturizing his coat as much as I need it to be. So just to quickly touch on the dematting process, I believe I've stated this in a different video. When you are dematting a dog, you want to hold the base of the mat. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping my hand around his leg and I'm holding the base of the mat, and I'm just going at the mat, just brushing off that mat. You don't want to brush at the dog's skin because you can brush burn the dog's skin and that'll cause the dogs to bleed. So you want to be very careful when you are dematting a dog. Also, after you demat the dog, when you are doing the bathing process, you always want to go in with a conditioner afterwards, because the brush essentially is damaging the coat, because dogs who are kept in a longer coat should use a pen brush, and a pen brush is one of those little soft brushes that has the ballpoint pen at the end that is made for dogs whose coat is kept longer and the owner wants to keep the coat longer, but you don't want to damage the coat. It's also made for drop coated dogs, so like a Silky Terrier, a Yorkshire Terrier, a Maltese, any dog that has like a drop coat layer, a full coated Shih Tzu, any dog that has a long coat that's a drop coat like that, you want to use a pen brush on. But you also want to go through with a hard metal comb so you can ensure that there are no mats that you missed. Now, for those of y'all that have been keeping up with my videos, the cut that Shadow is getting is the same cut. Well, I wouldn't say same. It's similar to the cut that Malibu got. Now, Malibu is the other black toy poodle that's on my page. I did a haircut on him where I hand scissored most of his legs. Shadow's going to be getting the same haircut as him, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll link the card right here. It's going to be up in the right hand corner, so you can check that video out and see if you like that as well, because that is a really good way to cut a dog if you want to keep them a little bit on the fluffier side but not too long where you can't manage it at home. And also remember guys, all of the products that I use, so all of my tools, my clippers, the brushes that I use, the blades, everything is linked down in the description box. So if you wanted to get something that I have, you can always check that out in the description box. And that's in every single video that I upload. So in my last video, somebody put in the comments if I could talk about some of the, well, I would say my favorite top rated grooming products, and one clipper that I want to get, and I see a lot of people that I know with this clipper, but one clipper I do want to get is called the Heininger clipper, the Opal, not the older versions. The older versions aren't bad, but the Opal, when they first came out with the clipper was not that great, but I don't want to say they recalled it, because I don't believe they recalled it, but they did fix whatever was going on with the clipper, and then they re-released it. Something like that. They re-released it, but it is a really, really good clipper. Now, I will say, for people that are looking for a nice, high-quality clipper, the Heininger Opal clipper, it has a very high price point, but it is extremely worth it. So many people that I have worked with have that clipper, and I've had the privilege of using that clipper, and it is really, really good. I can't wait to get it. I'm actually taking some time before I get it, but I will be getting it soon, so I am pretty excited about that. I'm just looking on where to get it so that if something happens, I do have a warranty behind it. But that is a really, really good clipper. The next product that I do want to recommend for everybody to get if you do your dog's nails at home and you file them, it is a diamond head. So a diamond head is basically what you would put on there as opposed to the other sandpaper to file down your dog's nails. A diamond head is going to last. It is basically just a head that does not, I would say, fade away, because the Dremel bits, the little brown sandpaper, they kind of deteriorate over time. The diamond head doesn't do that. The diamond head lasts. And then the one that I use, which is not in this video because this is an old video, the one that I use actually curves the nail for you while you're filing it. So it does everything that you need to do in one straight swoop. So that I recommend for everybody. That is actually linked in my description box, as well as the Dremel that I use, my newest Dremel that I use. All of them are at a really cheap price point, and you can get 2 of them for the price of one of the expensive ones. So I recommend that for everybody. The next 2 products that I want to recommend for everybody that I absolutely love are the 2 brushes that you see me use in all of my videos. It is one, the red matte zapper, so the little brush that I use to demat dogs, and then the big curl brush. It's called the Big G, and it is a Christensen brush, and you can get it on his website. You can get it from a grooming website, or you can also get it from Amazon. I put the link for Amazon in the description box so y'all can take a look at it and see if that's something that y'all want. But it is a phenomenal brush. It is more so tailored for dogs with a longer coat or shedding dogs. So if your dog has a double coat, it is tailored for that. But it is a really, really good brush. It is worth the price point that is on it. I promise you it will last you a very long time. It is a good quality brush. You will not go wrong with that brush, I promise. Or go wrong with either one of the brushes, to be honest. They're both really, really good brushes. Like I said, I've had these brushes for a very long time and they have not died out on me. I've never had to change any of the bristles. They are great brushes. The next products that I want to recommend would be the wide blades that y'all see me use. Wide blades are so useful. When I tell you they cut down your grooming time drastically, they truly cut down your grooming time. Now, before you go and get a wide blade, because you heard me say in the video, get wide blades. Watch a couple videos on wide blades and how to use them. It's pretty self-explanatory. But you have to be careful with wide blades because they are wider, and you can cut areas because the blade is wider. So you're thinking you're cutting an area, but the blade is also cutting something else, and you don't want to accidentally nick the dog. So invest in wide blades, but before you do that, watch videos on it. Now, in terms of Grooming Shears. I believe I spoke about this on one of my old videos. I'm not really big on those really expensive shears that you get from Kenchi, or you get from different websites. I'm not really big on those. Are they good shears? Yes. Do they last a bit longer? Yes. But if you wanted some really decent shears for the time being, you can go to Amazon and get some. I'm more so big on the person behind the shears as opposed to the shears that the person is using doing all the work, because essentially you are the one grooming, you are the one scissoring, you are the one cutting. So for shear quality, you really can get some shears and work magic with those. That's kind of what I do. But in terms of top rated shears, what do I think is going to hold up the longest? AGS, so Affordable Grooming Shears, they have really good quality shears, and Kenchi, they have really good quality shears as well. In terms of price point, AGS is going to have a little bit of a cheaper price point than Kenchi, because Kenchi is a well-renowned grooming brand, grooming name brand that everybody shops for. But the one thing that's good about Kenchi is that they have different levels to their shears. So they have entry-level shears, mid-level shears, and then experienced shears. So it just depends on your grooming level which shears you would prefer. I would recommend to go with one of the higher ones if you're going to go with Kenchi, just because it's a better quality shear overall. The metal's different. It's just all around a good shear. So if you're looking for grooming shears, I would try Affordable Grooming Shears or Kenchi. Now, when you're looking for shampoo, in terms of shampoo, that's kind of a tricky situation, because any shampoo is going to clean your dog. You just want a shampoo that's going to do the best for your dog's skin and coat. So it's going to moisturize the skin and coat, it's going to volumize the coat, it's going to help demat or detangle the coat, and it's also going to continue to make the coat grow and healthier and keep that coat healthy. Now, in terms of an inexpensive shampoo that you could use, Warren and London, I love their stuff. I get it off of Amazon. They have a really good oatmeal shampoo, and they have a phenomenal leave-in guava and mango hydrating like body butter kind of for dogs, but it's like a coat butter. So it's leave-in, and it's really moisturizing for the dog's coat. And the plus added side to it, so you can put it on when the dog's coat is wet, or you can put it on when the dog's coat is dry. I usually put it on when the dog's coat is wet, and then it helps the dog's coat dry faster when you go in to dry the coat. I love that shampoo. It smells amazing, and it lasts for a couple days as opposed to it just going away the next day. Now, if you're looking for some shampoos that they use on dog shows, when they're grooming and doing show dogs, you want to look for a higher quality shampoo. You don't necessarily need it, but if you are wanting to look for that, Christensen has really good shampoo. I used that on my dog when I was trying to help her coat grow in thicker, and to be honest, I did see a difference. I definitely saw a difference in her coat growing in thicker. They also have a nice little sheen spray that a lot of groomers use when they're spraying dogs, and that helps to kind of add a little bit of shine to the dog's coat. Another one would be Groom. Groom is really good. They have really good products. And then Hydro is a really good product that a lot of groomers use. A lot of people that I know actually use Hydro, and that's in a purple bottle. They are absolutely phenomenal. You cannot go wrong with them. Basically, when you're looking for a dog shampoo, it's kind of like when you're looking for a good quality dog food. You really want to look at the ingredients and what they use to make that shampoo, and that'll be the easiest way that you can tell whether or not it's going to be good on your dog's coat and good for your dog's skin. You really want to look at the ingredients. What I've learned is that a watery shampoo is not good for your dog's coat. You want to look for something that has more of a thicker consistency. That'll be really good for your dog's skin and coat. So a watery shampoo and a watery conditioner, do not use that. If it has a thicker consistency, that is going to be more of the better product for you. So now that we've started his haircut, I'm going to go over just about what I do on him to get the desired look that the owner wants, and then we're going to hop into the topic. So on Shadow, I do a 1/2 inch on his body. So that's 1 guard comb for those of y'all who are still learning your guard combs and the lengths that each guard comb has. I do a 1/2 inch on his body, so the 1 guard comb. And then on his legs, so like I said, it's kind of the same haircut as Malibu, the other toy poodle that I did, and I did him a few videos back. So if you wanted to check that out, I did link the card in this video earlier in this video. So on his legs, I ran an 8 guard comb, that's 3/4 of an inch, halfway down his leg, and then I scissored the rest. I didn't scissor the rest in super tight, but I scissored it in enough where it didn't look like he had bell bottoms, because he's a boy dog and they don't want him to look like that. But just so his legs kind of look tapered and it spread out just a bit when it got closer to his foot. And for groomers or new groomers, that's kind of like a little trick you can use if you are looking to leave the legs fuller but not super long, whereas though he'll get mad at next time. That's kind of a trick that you can do. You can take a guard comb halfway down his leg and then scissor the bottom half, so that if he does come back in with mats, which fingers crossed they don't, but if they do come back in with mats, it's just a smaller area for you to brush out. So as you can see, I'm taking it halfway down his legs and then I'm skimming off of his leg, so I don't leave a harsh chop line where the clippers are cutting. And if you ever leave those clipper lines on your dogs, what you can do is you can back brush and just go over it again, or you can take your thinners and you can kind of just neaten it up, and the thinners should essentially quote unquote erase those hard chop lines that are sometimes left by the clippers. Now my trick that I use on the foot, and I've explained this in other videos, I will take the hair, pull it down the leg, and then scissor around the paw pad of the excess hair that's falling past the paw pad, and that'll kind of give the dog that floating look where it kind of looks like they're just walking on their feet and their fur is not touching the ground, if that makes sense. But that is how I achieve that look, and then I scissor their foot round. Now one thing I will say that irritated me about this groom, and I'm not sure if it's this groom, it might be this groom, it might have been his next groom, I messed up one of his feet, and that made me so mad because I am a stickler for the dog's foot. For me, and it could be for some other groomers as well, but for me, I feel like most grooms, the foot makes the groom, because you can have the body looks great, the face looks okay, and then you look down at the feet and the feet don't look right. Like the feet are like a tight triangle, or they're too fluffy, or they're too wide. For me, that's just my thing about the groom, is the feet have to look cute. And I'm not sure again if it's this video, but I took one of his feet too tight and I beat myself up for it. I was so mad. And I know it's something little, but like for a groomer, for a high detail groomer and a groomer that pays very close attention to everything that they do, it can be very frustrating when you mess up something. So when I took his foot too tight, I beat myself up. I really did. I wasn't happy. So for his face, I hand scissored because he already had that acquired shape and length that I was looking for. I kind of just wanted to take minor length off of his face because, like I said, it was already the length that would match his body. I just needed to neaten it up and clean it up a bit, and to get the round donut mustache that the owners fell in love with the very first time I did it. And to be honest, the very first time I groomed him, I just did that on a whim because they like his face nice and tight. They actually prefer his face shorter than his body. I don't like it because it makes them look uneven. So I kind of did like a little compromise, and they loved it. And ever since then, they have stuck with me. They said, Brittany, you better tell us if you ever leave. So for his face, to keep that donut mustache, what you want to do is you want to round the edge of his snout. So around the edge of his snout, and then right under his eyes, you want to take that in just a bit tighter so that the donut mustache is more defined as opposed to it just looking like a round face. Now, if they want the face shaved, you would go in and shave that part of the face, but they don't want his face shaved. They just want it to look more defined and a tight, clean face. They like him tight and neatened up all over. So I took the thinning shears and I just thinned out right behind the donut and right under his eye, and I thinned it out very definedly, and you can see that in the video once I start doing his face what I did to that. And I think this is the video where I took his foot too tight. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, let me not focus on that. But yes, so for his face, you want to thin and shear right behind the donut mustache, right where the eyes are, pretty much where the edge of the ear sits. If you can kind of see it in the video, the edge of his ear sits. You want to take that in real tight with the thinning shears, and that'll be able to set that donut mustache and make it look very defined for you. Now for his ears, they don't like his ears too short, but they also don't like them too long. So I kind of just gave him what I call the boy ears. I've explained that in other videos. Just a basic blunt cut to the bottom of the ear, but then I also rounded it just a little bit on the edge so it wasn't a harsh cut to his ears. I don't believe they like that look. And like I said, once I did this haircut the very first time they came in and I did him, they absolutely fell in love with the haircut, and they said that they would stick with me. The grandmother said, if she can groom like that, you better not leave her. So I've been doing him ever since, and I absolutely love him. He has been perfect from the first time he got groomed. His first 2 times I did not groom him. 2 other groomers groomed him and he gave them no issues. It just so happens that they really loved the haircut that I gave him and they stuck with me. And I mean, he is one of my favorite clients because he is amazing. He just likes to cuddle. And his tail, I'm not really sure if I did anything to his tail because they don't like it too short. I do believe if I did anything to his tail, I just neatened it up because like I said, they don't like his tail too short. Okay, so now that I've explained the haircut, I'm going to hop into the topic. If y'all have any questions about the haircut, if I missed anything, please drop that down in the comments. Drop in the comments if you like what he looked like once the video is done. Let me know. I need to hear from you guys. I love to hear from you guys. Talk to me in the comments. But now we're going to hop into the topic. So this topic is going to be a little bit different because usually the topic will be about dog nutrition or dog grooming. It's going to be a little different. So I got a lot of comments asking me, why do I bathe the dogs first before I cut their hair? I get a lot of comments saying that the hair is too long for the bath, that I need to cut the hair first, then wash the dog because the dog will be a lot cleaner and it'll make the haircut come out nicer and it'll be easier on the dog. So I want to touch on that because I don't think people really understand just from me explaining it. So I want to touch on that real quick. So one big misconception about washing the dog's fur when the dog's hair is long is that the coat and the skin is not getting clean and the shampoo is not properly penetrating the coat and getting down to the skin, and there's no way that the dog can be clean. So the biggest rebuttal that I have to that is, if you are thoroughly washing your dog is getting clean. So what I do for my dogs, I thoroughly wet the coat. Because if you're going to get a nice lather on that shampoo, no matter what shampoo you're using, if you're going to get a nice lather on that shampoo, the coat has to be thoroughly wet. Once you thoroughly wet the coat and that dog is soaking wet, not just damp, but once the dog is soaking wet, Going in with that shampoo is going to lather them up really quickly and clean them really quickly. If you are properly scrubbing your dogs like how you scrub your hair when you wash your hair, and you are using your fingertips and you are really getting in there and you're massaging that shampoo, that soap is penetrating down to the skin and getting the dog clean regardless. Another misconception is that you cannot see a skin condition if the dog has that much fur on it and you are washing the dog without the fur. That's not true. You can see the skin because once the fur is wet, it's laid slick to the body, so you can part the hairs and look at the coat however you want. Not to mention, when you dry the coat, you can see the skin, so you can see the skin regardless. And when you're doing your assessment before you start grooming the dog, you should always check the skin when you're doing that as well. So that'll give you what you are looking for and tell you what products to recommend for the pet parent or what's going to be best for the dog. Another reason why I don't cut the coat before I wash the dog is because if a dog is getting a longer haircut, which is a guard comb, and you are taking your guard comb to that dirty dog, one, you are snagging the dog's coat, so you're pulling at the dog's coat more than you would when you're simply just cutting through a clean coat. So now you're pulling at the dog's coat, you're pulling at the dog's skin, and you're messing up your blades and your clippers in the process. And I just will not do that because it is not cheap. Clippers, blades, all of that, guard combs, they're not cheap. Not to mention, I don't want to hurt the dog with a pre-shave because you never know what's under that skin and coat. Yes, you can do an assessment, but you can never see every single ounce of the dog. So I'd prefer to wash my dog, dry my dog so I can see the whole body, see everything that's on it, because sometimes you can't catch fleas during a assessment. Sometimes you can't catch scabs under a mat, so I would much rather wash my dog, see what my dog's skin looks like, find every mole or anything that's on the dog, and then clipper my dog. I also get a lot of questions as to why I bathe matted dogs as opposed to just straight clippering the dogs. A lot of people, and even in the new salon that I transferred down to, would ask me, why are you bathing your matted dog? When you wet the coat, the dog gets matted even more. Incorrect. That is a huge misconception in the dog grooming field. When you wash a dog, wet the coat, scrub the dog, wash the dog, and let the coat air dry, that is how the mats get tighter to the skin. When you want to separate those mats from the skin, wash them and blow dry him right away. That is going to, one, break away all that dirt in the dog's coat and separate those mats from the skin. If you are letting the dog air dry, that is what's making the mats tighter. That is how the mats get tighter on the skin. And that is why I try and educate everybody that I meet, because they get so scared to wash a dog that has a mat. This last salon that I was at, I mean, the dog had one tangle and they're like, we gotta shave it. No, you don't. You don't have to shave it. Assess your dog and find out what options that you actually have. Don't just shave. I am not a groomer that's just going to look at a dog and say, oh, this dog has a few mats, I have to shave it. I'm not that groomer. I think outside the box all the time, 24/7 when it comes to grooming. So if I can look at a dog and see what options that I have, I'm going to take those options. So for everybody that is wondering why I wash the dog before I shave the dog, it's because there are several steps that I look into before I decide to do that. The only time that I would pre-shave a dog before I wash the dog is if the dog is severely matted. If the dog is matted to the skin and I do not believe that I can get the mat separated from the skin by washing it and conditioning it, that is when you will see me pre-shave a dog. But if I feel like the mats are not as tight, I'm going to wash the dog first, condition the coat, blow those mats away from the skin, and then clipper the dog. I'll say this one last thing before the video ends, because we are coming up to the end of the video. What I've learned over the years of being a groomer, and I've been grooming for, I'll say, going on 7 years this year. What I've learned is that every groomer has a different technique. Not every groomer grooms the same. So when you are watching these videos and you have different opinions, that is okay. That is 100% okay. But also understand that every groomer has different ways that work for them. I have ways that work for me that might not work for any other groomer. I get a lot of people that ask me different things. Why do I do this and why do I do that? Because I've gone through a lot of different things to find what works for me, and this works for me. And I do believe that I'm a pretty decent groomer. Am I the best? Absolutely not. There are so many groomers out there that are so much better than me, but I strive for different techniques that will help me grow as a groomer. And I've learned that washing the dog before I clipper it is just easier for me and easier for the dog. And a lot of people say that if you do it the opposite way, if you clipper before you wash, it cuts down the time. It doesn't, because you still have to take that time to pre-clipper the dog, then go wash it, and then bring the dog back out to finish that haircut. You're still taking the same amount of time. Nothing is cut shorter. You're just taking the same amount of time. That's it. So this is a technique that I've learned works for me, and I actually enjoy it because I know that in the end the dog will look cute, and I would have done what is best for the dog as opposed to pulling at and snagging at the coat. But that is my rant. Now we're going to take a look at Malibu's before. This is what he looked like when he first came in, and this is his after. He looks great. I know I always say that, but I do really believe that they look cute and they look great. Thank you guys for tuning into another video. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe. Let's get this video to 1,000 views. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.